Vice President of the UC Santa Cruz Amateur Radio Club. My radio call sign is KO2B. You can call me that and I will respond. And some of you may be asking, what is amateur radio? Hopefully some of you have heard of it. Basically, it's a method of communication that involves minimal infrastructure and is available to the public. With just a simple FCC licensing test, you have access to all of these amateur frequencies to communicate on, and it's pretty incredible. It gives you worldwide communication. It is closely tied to amateur electronics, which is why a lot of EE majors here are interested in it. I'm computer engineering, but closely tied. And emergency response services and training on a local level, which is really where you want emergency response to be. You want people to have access to emergency communication wherever, whenever, and ham radio makes up that network. Our mission statement as a club is basically to make ham radio accessible to all students regardless of their situation. Because if you're familiar with the hobby, you may think, wow, ham radio is very expensive. People spend thousands of dollars on radio equipment and putting up antennas. It's ridiculous. But as a club, we've gotten loaned equipment from members of the community, staff, funding from Merrill, it makes all the difference. It means that with no investment at all, I've been able to use some of the best equipment that is available. And that's what you want if you want to talk to people on the other side of the earth. Also, we like to support members building their own equipment, building stuff from scratch. That top photo has a student holding a homemade directional Yagi antenna. We go on field trips, we interact with the greater community and talk to other radio amateurs and loan their equipment, let them see what we have. It's not a lot, but sometimes they like to see what students are too. And we also like to teach members good emergency radio practice, because you never know when you're going to be the point man or woman in charge of communicating with off-site emergency services. You might be the best that they have, and maybe you're a very low-tier radio member, but it's always good to know. One of our projects that has been recently funded is the Fox Hunt Beacon Project. Fox Hunt is a fun radio activity in which somebody hides a transmitter and then the participants go around with directional antennas to try and locate the source of the signal. You look kind of goofy, you're waving around this giant piece of metal and trying to find like this tiny Morse code somewhere out there. It might be reflected off a mountain, you don't know, you just got to chase it. And this can simulate a search and rescue mission, and it's also a good reason to get out of the radio station. We are making our own, save money because commercial beacons are upwards of $200 often, and why spend the money when you can learn how to connect a radio to a microcontroller and do it yourself? We like to create documentation so that other amateurs can follow us and use our design in the future. Another project that we're working on is preparing for Field Day 2018. Field Day is a yearly global event that really celebrates amateur radio culture by simulating a disaster response. Basically, overnight you have to set up a full operational radio station on every band available, every mode available, and operate it for 24 hours straight, non-stop. In past years, these are some photos, we've had it on campus. We had our own small field day because we're a small group of students and it's a pretty wild ride. This year we're going to partner with San Lorenzo Valley Amateur Radio Club to see the pros do it. And UC Santa Cruz Amateur Radio Club has been put in charge of the digital HF station, one of 3 big stations, so this is a bit of a doozy. It's exciting, it's scary. They gave us the reins and we're going for it. So in order to practice operating on these modes, which we never operated on before, digital modes are great. You can hear them through the noise. They're perfect for emergencies. We've been going to community members' houses, learning operation there. We borrowed some equipment here. We're going to borrow antennas for the day. Everybody's going to come together. We'll assemble it. It's going to be great, I think, hopefully. We're learning all kinds of new stuff, but luckily we're buying a new antenna with 9 bands on it. A 9-band vertical, which is cost effective because we've got all of them on one antenna, and also very cool. We're all going to assemble it as a club, and that has been funded by Merrill College. So excited to put that up on the roof of Baskin. It's a process, but we're going to get there. And the event is on June 23rd to 24th, 24 hours. You could be there at 3 a.m. We'll welcome you, and any of you can operate without a license. We've got to go to station. It's pretty fun. If you want to see amateur radio in action, it's a big deal. There will be loads of food, free food, so just if you're interested. And one project slated for the future, we just submitted a proposal to Idea Hub for this, is a solar-powered emergency communication station. We would like to build up a station, all packed up, ready to go in our communications room, in case there was an actual disaster, and also to train for disasters. So that in the event of an emergency where communication to campus is cut off, cell towers go down or something, we could set up the station and communicate with off-site emergency services. This is a fun way to practice electrical design and putting a system together and building a solar-powered generator, but also it would be usable and you wouldn't need a supply of fossil fuel. I mean, if you're running off of propane generators, you need a supply of protein at the site of the emergency to use it, because if you run out, maybe you can't leave the campus for some reason. So this is pretty exciting. Hopefully that gets funded. Otherwise, we had fun designing it. So finally, Merrill, or the Radio Club and the Merrill Ethos, exploring cultural identities and raising global consciousness. You may think ham radio, Merrill, how does that go together? Well, I think that they fit incredibly well, because amateur radio provides a gateway for students to service their local community by becoming emergency responders. At the lowest level of response, just basic communication, telling people that there's been a disaster, arranging for people to come. And it also connects you with the wider radio community, which is a diverse community of people who are there for the educational aspects, for the disaster preparedness aspect, just because they like talking to people around the world, which is fun in itself. Contesting, you just talk to as many people, as many different countries as you can, and it's a pretty cool hobby. And just giving students access to that community and giving them the power to serve their community in that way, we think makes this student body stronger as a whole. And again, radio costs money, but we can make that investment disappear by being a club and offering them the use of our antennas, our radios, everything. And obviously you can connect with people around the world from a basement, basically, which is exciting and cool in itself. But yeah, thank you, Merrill, for funding, and for just overall an experience that, I don't know. I appreciate this more, thanks to Merrill. And finally, if you want to contact me, my email's up there. You can come to our website, hams.soe.ucsc.edu. All this information is there. And yeah, any questions? It's great.
Questions? I don't know. How did you get interested in doing this in the first place?
You know, I'm a relatively new ham. I got licensed. I got licensed this past January, so it's been a whirlwind. I went from not really knowing what ham radio was to being the vice president of club running projects kind of overnight. I took EE 101, which is Electrical Engineering 101. You learn circuits, and obviously ham radio definitely wants to reach out to those students, because ham radio is a good way to take what you learn in those intro circuit classes and actually put it to use, building whatever you want, basically, antennas and whatnot. So I thought ham radio, that sounds kind of dorky and cool. I would like to see more about that. And then it turns out that amateur radio is also the gateway to satellites, which I'm very interested in, and just greater things. But yeah, I mostly got into it because it looked kind of neat and silly, and it turned out to be really sick. But yeah, if anyone wants to do amateur radio, I'm your gal. Talk to me. I'll give you a radio or whatever you want. But yeah, I hope that answered your question.
Definitely.
Yeah. So one quick question: why is it called ham radio?
Okay, that's a hotly debated topic. One thing, okay, I can give you one real answer, one solid comment, which is that it's not, you should not spell it like an acronym. It's not capital H-A-M, it's capital H lowercase ams, or lowercase everything, because I'm not sure why there's a resurgence in H-A-M capitalized. But some people think it's like the names of 4 professors at Harvard that worked, 4 different radio people that worked on it, or from the original Harvard station, and then The HA came from Harvard, the M is unexplained. I don't know. All of these explanations are kind of lacking, which is why I can't give you a good one. But it's a mystery, the mystery of radio. Ooh, to find out more, come to our club meetings.
Great, well, thank you.